Welcome to Rustler, the horse GTA game, where you steal horses, steal carts pulled by horses, stab gangsters, stab policemen, and buy property you won't ever return to. You play as Guy. He doesn't have a name, wasn't in the budget. He's a petty thief who lives with his mother. Do you have a sidekick? Buddy. He doesn't have a name, wasn't in the budget. I don't know what he is actually. The game never tells you. Regardless, you two seek to win the royal tournament, the winner of which shall get to wed the royal princess and become the next king. Well, that's the premise anyway. Unfortunately, there are some problems with that goal, and I don't just mean obstacles to overcome throughout the story. More specifically, a singular major issue, which is immediately apparent as soon as you start playing the game. The combat. It sucks. This is a game where most quests have to do with killing people. Through combat. It's not that the combat mechanics are bad, the enemies are fine too. The problem is that it's entirely a gamble on whether the game will recognize your inputs or just leave you hanging around like an idiot while you get stun-locked shanked to death. Besides ignoring your mouse inputs half the time, it's also more or less random whether the game thinks you're making a power attack by holding down left click or a normal attack by tapping it, which more or less makes melee combat a last resort and mostly unviable. So the sword is useless. Heavy weapons like the spear can ignore blocking, which makes them somewhat useful combined with their range. But your go-tos are ranged weapons. If you haven't yet noticed, this game does not have assault rifles and heavy machine guns. Your range options are throwables and crossbows. The crossbow is quite good, as it is able to one-shot most enemies, though it does take a while to reload. The alternative is the auto crossbow with lower damage but with a magazine. This is a real weapon, by the way. Your options when it comes to throwables are horse scrap. Literally, it slows enemies and deals pretty much no damage. You can also mine rocks and throw pebbles, so and there's this thing! Which you don't get any ammo for, so Mounted combat is even worse. The melee jank becomes an even bigger hassle when you're on horseback. The only exception is carts against footmen, because as we all know, getting run over by a cart will instantly kill you, regardless of how much armor you're wearing, while getting run over by a horse will only injure you about as much as stubbing your toe. Unfortunately, Guy is pretty bad at fighting to begin with, which makes the broken combat system even worse, so you need to improve his skills. Behold the skill menu. A third of these are entirely useless. Another third, the multiple level skills, need to be leveled to their maximum to be of any use. The only critical skills are learning to reload your crossbow while moving, and learning to stay on your horse when you collide with something. But hey, the art's pretty nice. It's not animated or anything, and the voice acting is just grunting, but this game does have style. It's a GTA parody, so you have a mix of modern elements and medieval aesthetics mishmashed together. Guard horses with police lights, lanes on city roads, nonsense but funny nonsense. The music also partakes in this goofiness. Instead of vehicle radio, you must hire a bard to play music for you, who will play you some classical tunes. Or you can hit up the outskirts and find a beatboxer. Their tunes suck though. The story is told in multiple stages. You do a couple of main story missions before being gated by a literal paywall, which then forces you to do side activities to be able to progress further. These include side quests as well as activities such as racing, murdering, more murdering. You get the point. To be frank, all of these activities are worthless. They get boring fast due to their repetitive nature, and they're not particularly well made. Side quests are more involved and pay much better, usually, though the combat jank drags a lot of these quests heavily. Some highlights include scaring the piss out of random villagers with a costume, forcing people to attend mass at a church, and then donate money to said church by beating them. One quest sees you attempt to prove that the planet is flat, which you attempt to accomplish by boarding a ship on one side of the map and sailing towards the presumed end of the world. The ship takes you to the other side of the map. Unfortunately, the following mission erases any goodwill gained by this, by making you fight 4 armored knights. These are the toughest enemies in the game, with shields and enough armor to resist the one-hit kill crossbow. Certain side missions also just serve as introductions to other activities, which, as I've said before, all suck. Still, the main story quests in general are much better than these side quests. The prison arc is fairly fun, and the tournament quests are probably the most fun quests in the game. Excluding jousting. Jousting is not that good. To sum everything up, Rustler is a GTA parody with good writing, but also combat terrible enough to drag the entire experience down to below average. For a GTA-like, I would consider combat a critical component of the game. In Rustler, it is a chore. The most strategizing you'll do is how to kite enemies while you reload a crossbow, because melee is a gamble with the sheer amount of enemies the game throws at you at every encounter. To put it bluntly, Rustler is a fun GTA parody, but not a good game. The best part of it is easily the trailer. A case study on how a single problem can completely ruin a product. I rated a 4 out of 10, though if the combat was fixed, it would be an easy 7. Hello, editor's note here. The game got patched while I was making this video, and the combat works a lot better now, even though there were no patch notes. So, the game isn't crap anymore. I still wouldn't buy it at full price, but at 85% discount, I'd probably say it's a 7 out of 10. Oh, and yeah, you should probably like this video and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.